Imagine the original 16 to 35 G Master, but better. That's what this Mark II is. Thank you, that's it. What I'm trying to say is, this time round, it's an evolutionary upgrade, which is perfectly fine, and regularly that's what version updates for lenses are. It's just that Sony may have over-delivered on their previous lens. Last time they updated the 70 to 200 f4, the version 2 gained a whole new set of macro capabilities. I'm not implying that this new G Master lens is underwhelming, but just don't expect a big new superpower. You're paying for an all-round better handling and better performing lens this time. So how exactly is this improved from the Mark I? I can narrow it down to 4 things, and I'll start with the most significant: its weight. While it's significant, it's not exactly something that comes across visually at all, because size-wise it's actually only slightly smaller than the version 1. But the version 2 is around 20% lighter. The version 1 was officially 680 grams, the 2 is now 547 grams. To be honest, it's not so light to the extent you can't believe what you're holding in your hands. It still very much feels like you're carrying a 16 to 35, but more like an f4. In fact, it's actually off by only about 26 grams if you compare its weight to the Sony i1635 f4. So that's one. What's two is the hardware. It's gotten the full Mark II G Master treatment, so autofocus is now driven by 4 XD linear motors. You also get 2 custom buttons instead of just one on the lens. There's an iris ring on the Mark II, which is both lockable and declickable. The lens barrel still moves slightly as you zoom. It's longest at its 16mm end. And it still takes 82mm filters. But does it take sharper photos? Wide open performance is going to be the main concern here, because if you get this lens, the reason is you want to shoot it at f2.8, because otherwise you would have gotten the f4. Unless, of course, you're the kind who exclusively buys f2.8 zooms just to shoot them at f4. I mean, it's your money. Anyway, the answer is yes, the Mark II does resolve a bit better in the center if you look at the fine details, but in the corners you don't really have to look that hard, because the Mark II is much better in the corners. It's edge-to-edge sharpness on the Mark II. In other areas, flaring and distortion is not too different from the Mark I. As long as you've got the in-body distortion correction turned on, you're practically getting perfectly straight lines. Minimum focus is slightly closer than the Mark I, 22 centimeters from the sensor plane down from 28. That's about a 0.32x magnification ratio. And while a 16 to 35 is not my personal recommendation if you're looking for shallow depth of field, this 2.8 GM II is capable of serving up some rather pleasing bokeh. Now, thing number 4 relates to optics as well, but specifically for video. If you're using these lenses for video, then the Mark II will offer significant advantages. For example, focus breathing is immensely reduced from the Mark I going to the Mark II. At all focal lengths, it's almost completely unnoticeable on the Mark II, which it was quite on the Mark I. The Mark II is also perfectly parfocal, meaning the focus does not shift as you zoom in and out when manual focusing. You can see on the Mark I, that was definitely a bit of an issue. So evolutionary improvements, yes, but collectively it's all the right value adds in a few right places, giving birth to this even more refined 1635 G Master. In fact, this completes the G Master Trinity's transition to the version 2 era. The 70 to 200, 2470, and now 1635 G Master zooms are all available in their second versions. Granted, they don't exactly come cheap. This one's slated to launch for about 11,400 ringgit here in Malaysia. But word is, if you upgrade a version 1 Trinity kit to all version 2s, you could add in the weight of an Alpha 1 body, and it would still weigh less than just the 3 version 1s. That kind of sounds like the perfect excuse, actually, to buy an Alpha 1 body after just upgrading 3 G Masters. Ha! I wish.